So hello everybody and welcome to my Facebook stream. I'm excited to be here. Every time we do this, they change something a little bit. It just usually tells me when it's live and it didn't. So now it's telling me we're live and I'm excited to be here with my friend and colleague, an amazing practitioner, an amazing person, Bridgit Danner. And we're here to talk about a topic that we hear a lot. We both work with women, especially men too, with hair loss. And men seem to be able to deal with the issue of hair loss a little bit better than women, just because it's kind of expected that men lose their hair, or some of them do. And women go freaking out. So what I found is that people can have like fatigue, and they can have constipation and headaches, and that doesn't really get them like in an urgency mode to do something about their hormones. But as soon as they start to see those clumps of hair in the sink, in the shower, they go nutty and they're ready to do something about it. So I've heard it over the years, and we know, Bridgit and I know, because we've worked with people with thyroid issues and adrenal issues and menopausal type symptoms, and all those hormone imbalance can contribute. There's nutrients that contribute as well, and it's really important to get to the root cause of hair loss as well. But what we're going to talk about today is some things that you can do that can give you some practically immediate relief and start to shift things around while you're working and digging deep, because you do have to shift things if you have an adrenal issue or you have a thyroid problem. But this is going to help you to get some immediate relief. This is a very popular, it's a super popular topic. As soon as I posted this yesterday, we've got tons and tons and tons of emails and help desk tickets and how do I get on, and hopefully you're on right now, and rest assured if you have to leave or you missed any parts of it, it just stays on Facebook. So just come back afterwards and you'll be able to get in there. So I'm going to tell you a little bit about Bridgit. I met Bridgit probably like 6 or 7 years ago. We were in a kind of a marketing business kind of a program together and really trying to get our messages out to the world, and we really hit it off. And she's an acupuncturist. She ran a very successful acupuncture clinic with multiple practitioners, but really wanted to reach more people than you can reach one-on-one in a clinic like that. Same with me. And she branched off and really was passionate about helping women in pregnancy issues, and then broadened it a little bit more to overall women's hormone and health issues. And she's really passionate. She knows a lot about fertility, and she knows a lot about hormones, and she's studied extensively. And she's really recently started to notice the importance and the value of using essential oils in a lot of these same issues that we deal with herbs, Chinese herbs, acupuncture, supplementation, diet, lifestyle, all those things. But the essential oils tend to round all that out and give us a different avenue, and sometimes a really quick avenue to get some relief for various things right away. So the topic we chose today to talk about is hair loss. And so Bridgit, take it away. Let's talk.
Hi, thank you for having me. Yeah, we've known each other a long time, and as I've started to add essential oils to my business, I was pleasantly surprised to hear that you use essential oils around your home and in cooking, and thus we have this collaboration, so really exciting.
Yeah, and so I love to do them in food. That's one of my favorite ways to do it. I'm not as versed in the aromatherapy and the topical, but I'm a real big fan of flavors, and when you can add flavors that have a therapeutic effect, I love it even more. So that's where I, mostly use the essential oil. So we were going to talk about hair loss. So talk to us about this issue, and what are some of the things that you found that work?
Yeah, so I'll just reiterate some things you said earlier. Certainly, essential oils aren't the only thing you need to do. You need to work on your nutrition and your stress. There's a lot of reasons you could have hair loss. Even I hear from some of my practitioner friends, heavy metal toxicity they're seeing as a cause of hair loss. So lots of things. But I think that a really short-term needle mover, and it can be a long-term needle mover as well, is using essential oils topically. So some of the studies I've read, I think I linked this one in your blog, Ritamarie.
Yeah.
It actually showed peppermint to be as effective as Rogaine over like 7 months of use. It's crazy, right?
That's incredible, right?
So incredible. And then there's another study with like a little grouping of essential oils, and I think it was also measured at about 7 months. So if you're going to want to use them for really, really significant hair regrowth. It's going to take some time. However, I think right away, even like the first use, you can get some benefit of just seeing your hair look more fuller, be shinier, be softer. So that's pretty awesome. And then of course you're not putting toxic chemicals in your hair, which can further disrupt your hormones. Anything we put on our scalp, anything, that we're breathing can have a toxic effect on us or a therapeutic effect. So what I'm loving the most as I experiment to use oils for hair is, I'll usually just put a couple drops on my hand and then mix it with something else. And I smell it. I smell it for a few deep breaths. I'll be honest that sometimes with oils, like I can be in a hurry and I don't stop to smell them as much as I should. So I find when I'm bathing and I'm just already in that mode of taking care of myself, it's easier to smell them, and you can get some overlap in what it's doing for your hair at the roots and, the strands of hair to what it's doing for your internal health, which is pretty awesome.
That's really cool. And plus you smell good when you use them, right? So you don't have to have these artificial, flavor-colored smells that are made with chemicals that are just meant to fool us. We're actually using the real essence of the plant, and we smell good when we use them. So I like that idea.
Exactly. Yeah. I mean, you can leave your bath smelling like lemongrass or ylang ylang, and it's really nice, and you can kind of base it on your mood or your personality or whatever. Like scent is very personal. So as you try with some oils, there might be some that you really respond to and like the smell of, and others are not as exciting for you. I do recommend giving them some time, because sometimes the first time you smell an oil, you're like, but then as you get used to it, you're like, this smell is actually really interesting. And I think my body is kind of resonating with it. So yeah, I give it a chance.
So here's the thing. So you wrote a blog, and we have a blog post. We just put it up yesterday that Bridgit wrote, and it gave a list of all the different essential oils. And for somebody on my team, if you're there, just post that link into the chat so people who may have missed out can see it. But you really need to go into the detail of like how. I'd really like to know the hows. People want to know how. So
sure.
Find on some oils that you're going to put in, and we can talk about the specific oils. But what's the process? Because like when I was reading it, I'm thinking, ew, I'm putting oil in my hair. My hair's going to feel oily and it's going to get flat, and I don't want that. So talk to us about the process.
Sure. Well, essential oils aren't oily in the same way that other like seed oils are. Although we can talk about using seed oils on your hair, because I brought a bunch today for this. I've been experimenting with that as well. But essential oils, they're a little different. They kind of evaporate. They're not oily in exactly the same way. But some of these for hair, I do notice to have like a little bit of almost like a slick quality, like rosemary and ylang ylang. I'm like, these feel different than other oils. And I think that's sort of one clue that they're good for the hair, is they sort of smooth out the hair. But one thing oils do is help control sebum on the root. So just balances like sebum production if you feel like your hair gets too oily too quickly. Another thing they can do is just really deep cleanse the scalp and the hair. Whether we've used synthetic products or we're just in pollution or whatever, our hair gets dirty and clogged up and congested. So it's funny that we think to like do a deep cleanse of our body or even our face, but we don't really think to do like a deep cleanse of our hair. So I'm starting to see hair in like a whole new light recently, which is really fun. So definitely get some of the residue off. It's also high in antioxidants, so just nourishing your hair. And then it's full of like phytochemicals that, we probably we'll never fully fathom how powerful they are. And they're nourishing your hair. So I would say those are the main ways. And then there's some side ways too, like I mentioned, say you're smelling that lemongrass as you use it to clean your hair. It's also beneficial to your thyroid, which could be a reason you have hair loss.
Right? That's a good thing. But the physical process, though, like how are you doing it? I just am envisioning.
Oh, okay. I apologize. I didn't understand your question.
You know what I mean? The little bottle shampoo, you're putting big dollops of it and really working it. So how do you?
I mix them together personally. So I will do like a few drops of oil and put it on my hand first, smell it, and then I'll put the shampoo in. So you can mix it with shampoo or conditioner, and I'll do both. So you can certainly make your own concoctions. I've been experimenting with that, but the simplest way is just mix it with your shampoo, mix it with your conditioner. You can just do, maybe you want to do one that's more cleansing, right, with shampoo, and one that's maybe more smoothing with a conditioner. That's my mentality anyway.
Yeah.
So that's the simplest way. Just have them in your bathroom, in your shower, whatever. I'm starting to like want to have extras because I always want them nearby wherever I am. So I'll have them right in the shower and put it right in. You can, I've also made sprays with water and diluted it, but I find that the pure oil works best for me to just mix it directly with my shampoo. It's more concentrated.
So you put it in your hand, like a few drops of peppermint.
Yeah.
Some shampoo, you mix it up, and then you just shampoo.
There you go. So easy.
Why didn't I think of that? It was like, I was sitting there trying to envision, what is she doing? And there's just a little of it, and how are you getting it to spread across?
If you only used oil, yeah, you would need an awful lot.
It's very expensive. Right?
You know, the first oil I ever used was actually peppermint, and I put it on really liberally, straight out of the bottle, a lot of drops. And yeah, and I have to say, it feels amazing. You know, it feels incredibly cleansing. No, I mean, it could drip in your eye. Yes. For sure. But now I'll use it more with shampoo. Or you can do it with like a hair mask. Like you can do a clay and vinegar and essential oil. That's pretty easy, and that's very
I've never heard of a hair mask. Like a face
mask. Yeah,
really?
You can do a mud mask on your hair, and you can do a salt and oil mask on your hair. And then I think you could really just do an oil mask, like use some essential oils, and like this is grapeseed oil, and just put it on, like wash your hair and then put the oil on generously, like quite a bit of it, and probably like, a couple tablespoons, maybe even. And then, you could even generously do, 5 drops of oil and leave it in like a oily hair mask just to nourish your hair. So if you have thin hair like me, you don't want to let any of that left in there. You want to get it all out.
I get it all out. So it must take like several shampooings then to get it out.
It takes a bit to get the oil
out. I'm just remembering my kids coming home from school with lice one day, and I'm reading about all this stuff, and it was olive oil, with some essential oils, basically just liberally in their hair. And I remember it was like 3 or 4 or 5 times we had to shampoo it to get it out. And maybe that's because olive oil is thicker. Maybe olive oil may not be the best use of it, but that's just like, but
yeah, it's oily. Yeah. Or if you don't want to use the oily, do like the mud mask. But it's just, you don't have to do this stuff every day, certainly. But it's just fun to experiment with, especially if, say, you are dealing with a pretty serious hair situation, so to speak.
A lot of people are. I mean, they're getting these clumps, and it's freaky.
Yeah. So, getting the hair loss to totally reverse may take a while, but I will say I think you'll feel like your hair looks healthier and kind of fluffier. I think that can happen very quickly based on my own experience. Yeah.
Great.
So it's really fun. Yeah.
Yeah. So tell us more about the oils. I know you wrote about them in the blog, but it's always, nice to hear just like your experience with them and which oils work well. And
yeah, so we talked a bit about peppermint, which was my first one, and I didn't even tell you this yet, but I made like a little hair loss oil kit if people want to get the hair loss oil kit, and I included peppermint because I'm like, that has got to be in there. It's so cleansing and so invigorating. It really like makes you feel so clean and woken up. So it helps hair growth. It helps balance the sebum. It can help for dandruff. A lot of oils have some overlapping benefits, as you know. So peppermint does that. And similarly, rosemary is very famous for the hair as being nourishing, helping hair growth, balancing out oil. Lavender is a very common oil, but very nourishing for the hair. One that I love that I don't see is listed as much is ylang ylang.
I love the smell of that.
Oh, it's so heavenly. Yeah, and this is like an added benefit. It's good for sex drive. It's good for, I know, right?
Those things go hand in hand, though, don't they? Sex drive loss and hair loss, right? Adrenals, thyroid.
Yeah.
Right?
That's a great point. Yeah, I think in the world of essential oils, they don't always equate it over to functional medicine, but that's a great point. Yeah, the smell, like you said, it makes you feel just euphoric, and it's very smoothing. I think this is a good one to use while conditioning, and I've been experimenting to make it into like a conditioning like spray too. I'm still haven't totally dialed in the recipe, but I love this one. Lemongrass we mentioned.
Love the smell of that too. That one
Yeah,
I bought culinarily. Love that.
very cleansing for the hair. And like I said, good for the thyroid. I have more that I didn't put in the blog, so let me pull up some of the other ones. Well, this is, yeah, chamomile oil can give a little natural lightening to the hair, so that's kind of interesting. Yeah.
That can be done in the summertime, you know, you want to get your hair, get that sun gloss. Well, you have that nice light hair to begin with. But.
Yeah, well, my hair isn't as light as it looks. Cedarwood, I actually put in this hair kit that I designed. Cedarwood strengthens the hair. It's very nice for your face, too. So the other day when I was, cedarwood I love. It gives you a sense of like confidence and grounding. It's a very special smell. So you can do that on your hair and on your face. It's lovely on your face. So the other day,
on your face, right? There's some of these are too strong to put on the skin. I want to make
as long as it's diluted. Yeah, you can put it on your face.
Yeah.
Some oils, are hot, but not cedarwood. So you just do, you know, a couple drops cedarwood in your palm. And then I love this grapeseed oil for my face. It's a little too heavy to leave on my hair, but to put it on my face, it's amazing. Just that with the cedarwood oil, it feels like, you know, $100 facial product.
Oh, wow.
It's so nice. So you can do that on your hair, on your face. You're really kind of reducing the amount of product you use in the end when you just have some carrier oil and some essential oil. Let me see. Yeah. I'll look up some more. Did you have any questions?
Yeah. No, I see. So I'm looking to see if anybody has questions, and I see a lot of folks on. I see Janine and Susan and Sandy and Carrie, Deborah. Great. Let's see.
Yeah, we're happy to take your questions about the whole issue of hair loss. Tea tree is one, of course, pretty famous for cleansing the hair and helping for dandruff.
That one's, I like tea tree because I think it's really useful, but sometimes people find that you smell like a cleaning product, like, you know, like the toilet disinfectant or something like that. I'm not great. So I have people, when they want to put it on toenail fungus, they always go, do I have to put that on during the day? I'm like, no, just put it on your sock on overnight. But so that might be a little bit, you know.
It is strong, but if you're having a big problem, you're probably willing
it's willing to do it. Okay. So it's
yeah. I know I haven't used too much tea tree, but I use it a little bit more on my face because I'm a little bit acne prone. But yeah, I wouldn't say I love the smell either so much.
The others I really love the smell of. I think they're really cool.
Yeah. Lemon also is very cleansing, gets off the kind of goop and build up and excess oil. That's photosensitive, so, you know, maybe you don't do that right before a day at the beach all over your head.
When you say photosensitive, will it make it burn or will it make it just lighten your hair?
So it makes you more prone to sunburn when you're in the sun.
Okay.
And
so your scalp,
I don't think it might be fine because it washes off, but I'll just sort of mention that.
It's always worth mentioning.
Maybe. Yeah.
Side effects it might have.
I don't think that's the day-to-day, but what are some other ones? Orange oils is very high in antioxidant. Cypress helps remove excess oil. So there's some oils that are a little bit more cleansing versus others that are a little bit more nourishing depending on your hair type.
So would you say, would you recommend that people just pick like 2 or 3? Should they alternate them and go through the whole range to see which ones they like best? What do you find the most useful?
Well, I think you can start where you are if you've got a couple of these oils that we've mentioned. You know, just start. Everything's a new when you're having a new habit. Just try it. Just put it in your shower. But I will say that I like rotating. I do find that they have different properties. So I put together 5 in this little kit. Let me copy this link and give it to your listeners. But I've just did this for a hormone kit, and I thought, let me do it for a hair loss kit. So this is, Ritamarie's link. So this has 5 oils and a doTERRA year of membership, and it's $127.75.
For all
Because
of them. Is it an easy thing? They can just click the link and buy them?
Yeah, let me put it in your Facebook if I can get over there.
Okay.
Or here, I'll put it in the chat too. But yeah, one of these 15 milliliter bottles lasts a long time. It's like 150 drops. So if you have a little collection and you rotate and you just see what you like, it'll last you a very long time.
Yeah, like months and months, right?
Yeah.
Oh, it's a dog walking in the background. Yeah. So you got me inspired because I've got tons of oils, and I just buy them and keep them. I always keep extras. So instead of running to the kitchen, so I just find that I like what you said about keeping them in the shower, because if you have like one of a certain oil and you go, oh, it's in my kitchen. Oh, I'm in the shower now. Oh well, do it next time. So I'm going to just take my extras of these oils. I'm going to go back to the blog post. I'm going to take some of my, I'm going to put them in the shower and use them. Unfortunately, I just washed my hair today, and I usually don't wash it for a few days, so it'll be a few days before I do it again. But
yeah, and as you balance your hair, you shouldn't have to wash as much. You might feel like you have to wash a lot right now because your sebum production is out of hand.
No, I don't. I used to have to wash it every day. Sometimes I felt like I needed it twice a day, and now,
oh wow,
every 3 or 4 days is all I need.
Yeah, I think that's showing that your hair is like regulating, so that's really good. I just was able to put that link on your page, so.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. What else did you ask me? Yeah, I think convenience is really important. So I'm starting to, like you said, have them around the house, because you're not gonna. You want this to be like something that's just in your hand.
Right.
And I think you need to have that consistency if you're really trying to fix an issue.
Right. So you mentioned that you put a hormone kit together. Is that different from this kit, or are you saying that this kit also you can use for hormone balance as well?
This I made as a hair loss kit, but every single one of these oils has another benefit, or 2 or 3, right? So peppermint cleans your hair, also good for a hot flash, also good for energy, also good for a headache or pain. Yeah, so that's one of the more common oils I put in there, and then the others are a little bit more unusual, like the cedarwood, maybe people haven't used. I think it really instills confidence. I know that sounds like a vague thing, but I think that that's very important for us as women to also, bring in that grounded confidence. And then it also lowers cortisol. So mostly I'll need that.
Cedarwood does?
Yeah.
Interesting. I just had a conversation with my son, who wrote to me, only my kids do this, and writes, Mom, I think my cortisol is too high. What should I do to lower it?
A lot of oils lower cortisol.
I told him I'd send him some stuff, but cedarwood, you said, right?
Cedarwood, also frankincense, lavender, vetiver.
Can't be too any, and you can't smell too girly. You know what I mean? You can't.
That's a good point. Yeah, those woody ones are good for
more good, like it'd smell more like musk aftershave or something like that.
Yeah.
Not that he shaves; he's got a big beard, but yeah.
I see a question from Christina about hair color.
Yeah, she said that somebody had asked that. If you can please address, let's see. I'd like to know how to reactivate natural hair color from within when the grays keep spreading. And I believe it's more about deficits than it is about aging. Could you please address this topic as well?
Do you want to start, and then I'll give my comments, Ritamarie?
Sure. I think that the accelerated hair loss comes from, we were just talking about it, adrenal overload. And that's why it's so common, because we all have this adrenal overload, and it affects, I think the way that it affects is it affects the pituitary, right? And the pituitary controls the functioning of the adrenals and the thyroid. And when the pituitary is working a lot because it's constantly being stimulated because of stress, it kind of falls down on the job of some of the other jobs. And one of its other jobs is melanocyte stimulating hormone, melanin, the pigment in our skin and in our hair. So that's my take on how that's related. So really it's blessing your adrenals and getting your adrenals calmed down. So some of the oils you mentioned in there that lower cortisol, or something that balances your cortisol. Adaptogens are really good because even if you don't know what your levels are, with some people have high cortisol sometimes in the day and low, the opposite and different than what they should have. Some people just have low cortisol deficit. Some of them are in the hyper state, which is probably my 24-year-old because he's too young to really have them burned out, but he's in this constant state of arousal being a grad student and all that. So I think that really addressing your adrenals, and addressing your adrenals, of course, is going to address the full hair problem. I created an elixir, and these essential oils, some of them are edible, some of them are not, like the lemongrass, the lemon, the orange, and the peppermint you don't eat. I don't know about the cedarwood, but I make elixirs where I put adaptogenic herbs with coconut milk and then adding some essential oils could really make it from the inside out. You're using the essential oils as well as from the outside in to support the hair production and the hair color.
Yeah, that's a nice point. Yeah, I like the way you phrase that. As I've been studying about essential oils, I've been studying a lot about thyroid lately. And one thing that really struck me in the advice was just like when our systems are under stress, whether it's an infection or, whatever the kind of stress, the more we can just even it out the day, even out the blood sugar, even out the mood. Oils can be a little bit of an upper when you need it and a little bit of a downer when you need it. Actually, like rosemary can be not exactly an upper, but a little bit of a stabilizer, that and basil.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
So
those can be used.
I think Chinese, maybe it's Ayurvedic medicine. They use rosemary a lot as depression that has a relationship with the liver. That must be Chinese medicine.
Oh,
that's what I remember. That when it's a depression that's related to a liver congestion issue, that rosemary can be really helpful.
Yeah. So you can definitely even. I'll also mention that as I was reading a hair loss book, I don't have it with me, to make a nettles tea infusion will darken your hair. So it's maybe not reversing gray from you asked in the question, but it's darkening. So that could be something to just play around with as you work on some other things in your body.
And washing the hair with nettles versus, great because of the minerals, and the minerals are all needed for a good healthy head of hair too.
So chamomile tea can be a little lightening and the nettles tea can be a little darkening if you want to play around with that. This is getting a little more advanced with the recipes, but you can, if you want, use fresh fruit, use herbal tea, this kind of a thing.
Yeah, cool. I like that. I like working from the inside out, and I like the way she phrased that question, because she did phrase it from the inside out. Yeah, we can all go and get the most natural hair coloring that we can find, or henna or whatever else, but I like that she asked the question too, because we really want to heal ourselves from the inside out, not from the outside in.
Yeah, that's a great question. But I do want to acknowledge essential oils that they work that from the outside in a different way, right? Because they're affecting your brain from it's amazing, that you smell something and it goes to your limbic system and that sends a message to your pituitary. It's amazing that can even be a thing.
I consider that from the outside in, though, Bridget.
Oh, okay.
Right? Because the outside in would be you put some oil on your dry skin to moisten it, but you don't address the underlying cause. Like when you put an essential oil and you're breathing it and it's going right to your limbic system, that's addressing it from the inside out. Even though you're applying it from the outside, its effects are from the inside out, which I really like, right? It's one thing to just slather yourself in coconut oil all day long because you have dry skin. It's another thing to go, why do I have dry skin? Am I short on essential oils? Am I not digesting? I have a gallbladder problem and I'm not digesting fats well enough to get them into the cell membrane. So I think that is a root cause approach. When you're breathing them in, they're going into the brain and they're having a systemic.
Yes, that's a good point. Right? Yeah, it is a little different.
Yeah. And
I would love to hear. I'm sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, go ahead. No, I was going to say, I think when you're applying it right to the scalp, in addition to it, nourishing right there the follicles, but that's also getting
absorbing. Yeah, I think normally it's like a 60% absorption on your skin, but I think the scalp is even probably more so.
Probably more so.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so
And
getting so
mucous
much blood
membranes
flow.
too, right? Mucous membranes, and I think the scalp absorb better than the skin. So that's why you
I
have to
would
be
think
really
so.
careful about eyes, getting it in the eyes. And also when you're taking essential oils internally, got to be careful about the mucous membrane in your mouth because it can burn if you take too much.
Yes, yes.
And that's
Some can burn in the
important.
mouth, certainly burn in the skin. I found
Yeah.
even that the lemongrass is kind of hot of an oil. I was surprised to see that. So I think
Really?
you, yeah, I think you have to dilute it. Like I was putting it on my thyroid, as I was learning about
Directly,
it.
yeah.
And I was like, oh, it's pretty hot. So I think that one needs to be diluted, which I was surprised because you wouldn't think of it as being like a hot oil. At least I
So,
wouldn't.
as you say that, I remember that I put lemongrass oil in my, I make a soup in the winter when it's hot and when it's cold out and I want to warm up. And I'll be freezing cold and it's just cold. And I make the soup and it's broccoli and other cruciferous and I blend it. And then I put seasonings. I always put lemongrass essential oil in there. And I will say within 10 minutes of drinking it, I'm sweating and I'm tearing off my sweater. So I wonder if that's part of it,
Interesting.
right?
So
I just
maybe it's just we associate, oh, that's citrus, but it's not at all citrus, right? It's like this
yeah,
grassy thing.
yeah,
So
yeah.
maybe that's just a
It's in
sort
the
of a
mint family, actually.
misconception. Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
it's in the
Yeah,
mint
maybe that's just a misconception we get by the smell of
by the
being kind of
smell,
floral, but yeah, it's quite warming.
warming, and that peppermint can do that too. So Janine says she uses black seed oil, helps hair grow, and she uses on eyebrows. That's interesting. People
Black
ask
seed,
me
is that like black cumin
black
seed or?
black cumin seed. Yeah,
Oh yeah, that's really great. And that's great internally too. It's in this oil that I think we're going to start selling yeah, those seed oils are really powerful. That's a great tip.
it's great for the thyroid, but that's good to know because with thyroid, people start to lose that lateral third of the eyebrows. She says
Yeah.
it's on there and it helps. So that's
I
good
should
to
start
know.
doing the oils on my eyebrows. I didn't
There
think
you
about
go. Get the
that.
eyebrows that go back. Let's see. What about rosemary? I think you mentioned rosemary. Maybe that was.
Yeah, I think we talked about that one. It's a pretty well-known one. It's a fairly long list. I think I read the other day there's like 3,000 essential oils. So I only
Wow.
know like 50 of them.
And we
I don't
know, like, yeah.
There's a lot of things you can make into an essential oil, I guess.
Oh, yeah.
And there's so many overlapping benefits all the time with just antioxidants and, anti-infection or bacterial. So, if you already have some at home and you want to look them up, just look them up and see there's lots of information out there. And then, yeah, if you're just totally new to this, but you want to just play with it and get in on it, we've got this little kit for you. And I don't have like a book of recipes yet, because to be honest, I haven't nailed them yet, but I'm happy to talk to everybody individually to help them with their own recipe or their own root cause stuff.
Oh, cool. Well, that's a great deal. How do people get in touch with you to do that?
Yeah, so let's see. I could put a link on here. Definitely if you buy the kit, you'll get the link sent to you, but I think I can get you a link if people have questions before they bought something and they want to know. Let me get you a link.
That'd be awesome. So Carrie wants to know, she missed something in the beginning, tried castor oil. Have you used that? I've heard castor oil for eyelashes. And I saw this on Amazon and I was really surprised. You get a little bottle of castor oil with a mascara type brush. And you stick it in and then you just put it on your eyelashes and it's supposed to make eyelashes grow back. Have you heard of that?
No, sounds interesting.
I bought it and I haven't tried it yet because it was like gooey and gummy and I'm like, I have to do this at night and then I was afraid to get it on my pillow, so then I didn't do it. So
yeah, I think that's interesting. What I was reading, I didn't see anything. Here, I just put my scheduling link in the Facebook chat.
Okay, good, thank you.
I didn't see anything about castor oil, but it's certainly very
it's not really an essential oil, right? It's more of a pressed oil.
Yeah, I did see, about like jojoba oil. I learned about argan oil. Oh, I forgot to mention, I have an extra argan oil that I ordered accidentally. So if anybody would like to buy a hair loss kit, I'll raffle that off to somebody who gets one because I have an extra.
Oh, cool.
This is one of the nicest oils for your skin and your hair. Just super nourishing. Some of these have like vitamin A, some of them vitamin E. I can't remember which this one has. But some of that, those are really just nourishing for your hair.
Yeah, super. Becky said a friend of hers stopped chemo over a year ago and her hair still hasn't grown back. Which oil would you suggest to accumulating.
Oh no, that's so sad.
Yeah.
A year. Well, I bet some, you know, a lot of it is like what you said with adrenals. Just her body is so tanked that it hasn't started production again. But I would think some of the ones, I think peppermint would be good. If she has literally no hair, I would go really gentle with the peppermint and, you know, just find the right amount. Yeah, and I would do some massaging as you put it on. Trying to think what else is really good for the hair root itself. Let me see. Lavender again, rosemary. I linked to a study in that article that had like a group of 5 oils, especially good for hair growth. So
okay. Yeah, so check out, we put the link to the blog post in there, so if you guys have questions about that, go and do that.
Yeah, here, thyme oil. I think that was in the group of oils they tested. And that's a hot oil, so be careful with that one.
But can you mix it like with coconut oil or MCT oil?
Sure, you can dilute it. Especially,
so what are some others that you would
coconut, argan, jojoba, grapeseed. Those are mostly the ones I've heard about.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. I'm looking to see if there's any others.
But probably you're right. Olive oil, too, would be fine.
Yeah. I mean, I think it would be cool without the hair. I just found that it coats the hair so heavily. At least this was when my kids were little, you know, and it's like, oh, you know?
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I had to put my hair up today as we were talking about hair loss because I put oil in my hair last night as an experiment, and it just left my hair too clumpy. So some people, hair type, they might need a little oil to calm everything down. But for me, I barely have any hair as it is, so I don't need to be putting oil on that I leave on. So, it's funny. When I lived in South America for a year, and they used coconut oil so liberally on their hair. They all smell like rich coconut oil. They have very kind of greasy hair because they put on so much coconut oil. But they have beautiful hair. Everyone has a thick head of black hair. It's amazing. So, I think it's very good for the hair.
Oops, my phone just died, so I can't be looking at the comments.
Oh, I can look. I don't.
And I can't see it on the computer. It never actually came up. There was something from Mary. I think Mary just asked about a replay. So this is Facebook. And, you know, for those of you who don't know, when we do something live like this on Facebook, as soon as we stop it, it takes Facebook about 5 minutes or so to render it, and then it's there. I mean, you just come back here any time, and you can watch it. And I think what we're going to do is download it and put it on that blog post. So instead of linking to this, we'll have the replay right there on the blog. So it'll be a more permanent.
Oh, nice.
Spot.
Okay. And I put a couple links in the notes here as well. I'm about to take a 2-week trip, so it might not be super available like for a couple weeks, but I might be available this week actually, so that might work out.
Okay. Where are you going?
We're going back to Oregon, cool off and visit some friends.
Arizona in July is a little hot, huh?
It has started just a week or two ago, and it's 110 today. It's like you can't really be out much in that weather.
We're going to Mexico first.
Oh, great.
So that's what I'm going to do.
Oh, that's awesome. Well, I definitely want to come back to Austin and go to your live practitioner event. So maybe I'll
come in June. Yeah, it's November 2nd through 4th. So put it on your calendar.
Okay, I will do that.
Yeah, be there. It'll be so much fun.
Yeah, this essential oils is definitely like a learning process, but it's a fun learning process. You know, there's no need to rush it.
And the thing about it is, I think it's relatively safe compared to to learn how to use herbs, like Chinese herbs. So you went to acupuncture school to really learn them and not hurt anybody, which affects, you have to know the right ones for the right person. And oils you do, but they're forgiving because unless you're taking them internally, you do have to be more careful. But if you're sniffing them or you're topical, you usually can tell pretty quickly if it's not for you, if it burns your skin or something along those lines. So I think it's pretty safe. And I think that, it's great for using with kids, because you get really good responses with kiddos pretty quickly. You get them to smell something. My kid, the one that asked me about cortisol, when he was like 7 years old and his dad had been traveling a lot and his younger brother was a little wild, and I was just getting all agitated. And he came over to me one day with a bag, a little bag, and he comes over and he says, "Mommy, smell this." And I smelled it, and I'm like, wow, it smelled really good. Just keep smelling it, Mom. It's calming herbs. And I'm looking at this girl. They're like, what does he know about it? I said, how do you know about this stuff? Because I just went over to the spice rack, and I smelled them all. And anything that's calming to me, I put in here for you.
That's amazing.
So kids have this sense of it, and so you can give a kid something to smell and pull them out of like a panic attack or, an anxiety attack pretty quickly. So I love the oils for that reason. I love cooking with them. I love adding them to smoothies, and I love, just smelling them. And I like what you said about bathing. I don't take baths all that often, but putting them in the bath.
You use them in the bath, but use them in the shower too with your hair, or use them afterwards with some body oil. Oh, it's so nice. Yeah, I know you teach about the heart math and meditation, and it's sort of like we all know to do it, but we're not always sometimes it's hard to get in that state or whatever, but it's super easy to just open a bottle of oil and sniff it. It only takes 15 seconds. So it can be a trigger, right? Just to help you remember, instead of saying, oh, I got to do my meditation sometime today, it's just like with your heart, stop for a second and be like, right now in the moment you feel anxious or you're having a hot flash or whatever, what can you do in the moment? Right now? Yeah. And it'll shift you really quick. They've done blood tests and within a minute, under a minute, it's lowering your cortisol level in your blood. It's crazy.
Wow, really? Within a minute? That's amazing.
One that I found that I think I linked, oh, maybe not, but was the little slower. Probably because it takes a minute to get somebody's blood out. But I have seen it in under a minute too. Is that working?
Anybody else? Could you see any other questions? Any other? I'm going to ask.
I don't think so. Just some people asking about the replay and stuff like that.
The replay will be here when you're done. I mean, just wait a little bit afterwards. It'll be right there. And we'll post it probably by tomorrow. We'll download the video, and then we'll post it up to YouTube and put it on the blog. So we'll just add it to the blog post. So thank you for being here and answering all these questions. I was going to say about the effects. My younger son, he always had this thing about afraid to die and all these anxiety things. So I had a diffuser in his room, and I forget the name of it. It was a doTERRA blend that was a calming, a nighttime calming blend.
Serenity, maybe?
Might have been Serenity. And I put it in his diffuser, and I would just put that on, and he just loved it. And so when he moved, he went away to school last year. He moved out, 3 hours away, and he said, I said, I have an extra diffuser. He goes, yeah. And I said, which oils do you want? So I had a whole bunch of them. He goes, and he just opened them. He smelled them all, and he picked 2 or 3.
And that's so great. I know there's something I want to say. Or there's some intuitiveness to it, and also that immediate reaction, like when you're smelling the herbs. So I know which one's calming, Mom, because I smelled it and it calmed me down. Yeah. Amazing. And that's how they are. And I think as I've gotten a little more savvy with them, it just becomes, I feel like I'm getting in the zone, right? When I'm mixing them, and sometimes you're just putting your hand over and you're like, no, this is the one I need today, or this is the one for this situation. And I think once your body has smelled them and has gotten familiar, there's some innate sense. It's you gravitate towards one versus the other. Some oil I really liked a year ago, I'm not as into maybe, and I'm into some other oil. It's just, it changes as we change.
You change, Well, so thank you. And so the kit, Bridgit posted a link in the chat, so go look for it if you're interested in seeing what her kit contains for the hair regrowth. And it's a great way to go and a great way to get access.
It's a very simple order form. It's not fancy, but you can always email. It's just because we have to go onto doTERRA to actually order it. So it's just giving us permission to do that for you. But it lists the 5 oils and that you can do a consult with me. And I'm so happy to be collaborating in this way and getting the oils out to your community.
Yeah, I think it's great. I don't know all that much about them, but I like to bring in people like you who know it and can share on different topics and how people can use them. So I'm all about getting well from the inside out and us taking charge. It's like I keep thinking about what I really want for people, and what I really want is empowered self-care, because our medical system has just made everybody like slaves and dependent, and like you have to go to this doctor or this person to tell you what to do for your health. And the more you learn about how your body works, and the more you learn to take care of it using natural substances that the earth has provided us, that I think that that's the empowerment that we need moving forward. So.
Yeah, I totally agree. I totally agree. I mean, if there's a way to avoid, having to do all that you can do from home, whether it's for your hormones or your hair, frankly, for me, I just feel like it saves me the hassle. I don't want to have to do all that mumbo jumbo.
Right, exactly. And they're not really providing a solution.
Right. Okay, well, we could talk all day, but thank you so much for having me, Ritamarie.
Thank you so much. So go ahead and check Bridgit's thing out, and thank you very much for being here, Bridgit.
Thank you.
Bye.